And we're with Dr. Mario Miller, who's with Human Resources for the Greenwood Floor Consolidated School District. Dr. Miller, how you doing?
Doing great. How are you today?
All right, thank you for your time.
Good.
Tell us about your journey to get here to this position with the the Floor Consolidated School District.
Well, my journey actually started as a teacher about 19 years ago. I've gone from a teacher to a special education director to an assistant principal to human resources director. So the journey has been a long one, but it's been a very, very enjoyable one. All of it in an effort to do the best that I can to support our children in whatever capacity that may be. I'm a lifelong educator, and Greenwood LaFleur is a great stop along this journey. I've had some great experiences since I've been here, but it has most been enjoyable because of the leadership. The leadership is amazing. So, I just want to work to do what we can to help our children in this capacity, which is just to identify that great talent that is right here in the Delta and just beyond our borders, in neighboring counties around this area. I'm out there every day looking for them, trying to identify them, and to ultimately get them here to help educate our children.
Talk about your other jobs preparing you for this one. This is a tall task.
Well, it is. I was actually served as special education director for Jackson Public Schools for a couple of years, and that's a huge department and a huge responsibility. Working with parents and children and the services for children, it's an amazing task, but one that I truly did enjoy. So you know, um, I have lots of experience with dealing with grown-ups, as we call it in education, with adults, and the needs that they have and the concerns that they have. And, having been a special educator, I have a heart for people. Like you said, it takes a special person to work with students with disabilities. And it also takes a special person to work with people day in and day out. So I try my best to be as respectful and kind, and that's what we expect here in this office, is when you visit the Human Resources office, you leave a little bit better than you came. Your questions were answered, and you were dealt with very professionally, and everything that you needed, you got that day.
Your job is, I guess, primarily, from the outside looking, is primarily to keep the district staffed with
Exactly.
personnel.
Yes.
Talk about that a little bit. Where do you go? Where do you look to get the people that you need when you need them?
Well, like I always say, there's no place like home. If we can start right here first, this is where my primary responsibility for identifying that great talent. I was talking to a person not too long ago. I said, you can get everything you need right here in LaFleur County. You got education all the way from pre-K all the way up to graduate level. And most people, they don't have an excuse right in this area to not have something, to not be educated, because it's right here. But my primary responsibility is to identify local talent and those people who can come in and be of service to our students. Teachers who are some certified, most certified, and some uncertified. But what we try to do is we try to have those people who can identify with the kids that we already have here. And of course, if we can't find it here, we go abroad. We go and we seek out those Teach for America teachers. If we can't find it there, we seek out those teachers in neighboring states. Just across the bridge is where I went to school in Arkansas, and I just recently did a teacher recruitment over there, and most of those teachers are tremendously talented and ready to go and be of service to children in teaching capacities. So the one thing that we try to do is identify that talent first where we are. If we can't find it here, we venture out.
What area is most difficult to staff? What area? And then what subjects?
Well, certified positions are difficult to staff right now. Of course, there's a statewide teacher shortage. There's a national teacher shortage, but there's particularly one here in this state that it started about 2 years ago. There's a significant teacher shortage in Mississippi, and of course, with this being the Mississippi Delta, it's even greater here in this area. So right now, we are looking for anyone who is willing to commit to being a teacher. Being a teacher is not an easy job, and people, often think that it's something that you can just come in, pick up, hit the ground running, and you'll be okay. But no, it takes hard work. It takes overtime. It takes you know. Sometimes neglecting your own self, in order to be an effective teacher. So, but all the positions that we have right now are, everything that requires being an instructor, we have it open right now. And, we're always looking. There's not an end point. I'm constantly trying to recruit those teachers that we can bring to the table and be able to service the needs of our children. So every position in a teaching capacity is what we need.
Okay. I know you talked about the service around the state and also around the Delta. When folks talk about the Delta, they look at it as a very, very difficult place. But those that live in the Delta and working in the Delta, they feel that it's actually second to none. That you talked about earlier, talented people here as well. Kind of speak to that a little bit too, the image and then the reality.
Well, having been in both places, my experience, is a range from another state to a large district to a very small district. I've seen a lot in my years of being an educator, but particularly I see, good is not the best and small is not bad, so you have to understand that a huge district has its challenges just like a district of medium size like Greenville or Florida. But at the same time, we are I'm tasked with getting those people here. But back to the question is, having to be here in Greenville or Florida, I found that there are a lot of truly committed people who are committed to children and committed to them being in a good place educationally. They want to work. They're not here to just have a job. They are truly committed people. And you find a little bit of both worlds everywhere you go. But particularly here in the Delta area, I have found that these teachers, when they say that they want a job, they truly do want to work. And not only that, they want to learn. They want to learn how to be the best teacher that they can be. So with that said, I think this is a area that is truly the stigma is inaccurate. I think that the first thing that you have to be as a teacher is you have to be committed. You have to care. You have to want the best for your children and for your local area and for your local economy. And I think the people here in this area, they get that, and they want to be here, and they want to be here for our children.
And you talk about teaching being special. You one committed. Some jobs you can leave a job, the workplace, but in teaching, reality,
No.
that does never happen.
I've never been able to just say that I'm going home and I'm not going to take my work with me. No, you think about it. I remember when I was a SPED director, I literally had a notepad in the bed with me. When something came to my mind, I would write it down. When I would wake up in the middle of the night writing things. But it's not just a job. It's a commitment. And people have to realize that when you say you want to teach or you want to be an educator, it means you are giving your life. Even if you don't, you may not even know it, but it's not something that you could just easily walk away from and say, I'm done for the day.
Is that a quality that you look for when you look at teachers and even other positions too that you feel?
It is a quality that I look for, and I let them know up front. This is not just a job. It's a career, and in a career you have to give it your all. Yeah, you don't make the exorbitant amount of money that you probably would want or really need, but at the same time, it's something that you have to have a heart for it. You know, it's not something that you can just say. You can just wake up in the morning and say, I want to be a teacher. You can say that, but at the end of the day, it's going to take more than a day, you know, commitment. It's a life. It truly is a life. And I try to, you know, let people know that when they walk into a classroom, they're in charge. And all of those 30 eyes looking back, 30 pairs of eyes looking back at you, they are looking to you for everything. So that's a lot on you, and you have to do more than your share of preparation in order to be a great teacher.
It's very competitive to staff any district across the state. You look at billboards out there, you see advertising out there on websites and everywhere else, where they're even going over in other people's districts trying to get teachers out of that. It's very competitive. How do you get them to come to the Greenwood Floor Consolidated School District? Got to have them because we got to have school. How do you get them?
Well, the one thing you have to do is you have to tell the truth. You know, and people already know what the state of education.
Okay.
You know, I say, you know, first and foremost, we are not, you know, the premier district. But what we do have is we have committed people who will work with you. You know, we are not on top, but we're striving to be on top, and we want people that want to, you know, get on board and go on this journey with us. You know, we're a brand new district. We have new talented principals and very professional. I mean, just unbelievably professional and sensitive district administrators who are always there and are willing to lend an ear when you need it. So just being available, those are some traits that people are truly looking for. They don't want to be left on an island. I think the one thing that you have to tell people is, you know, or to get them here is, we're going to be with you every step of the way. You know, and if you can't get it from your principal, just reach out to me.
Okay.
You know, I've done this long enough to know how to guide you. And in doing that, we've started our Greenwood LaFleur Teacher Corps,
Okay.
which is one of those programs that I did start here in the district to actually walk hand in hand with all of those teachers who want to come on board. We get together and we have, you know, our little sessions where we talk, you know, we debrief and we talk things through, and we bounce stories off of each other and ask, so what would you have done in this situation if you were faced with it in your classroom? So that support is the main thing that teachers look for. But you know, you have to tell them the truth. You know, it's not an ideal situation. You know, you're gonna have your challenges, but when you have a support group, it's worth trying. And most people are really interested in doing it just because they know that they're going to have someone with them all the way.
What's, in your experience, what was the most gratifying, or why was teaching so gratifying for you? What did you get out of it? Sometimes you give, and at the same time through that experience, even though it's tough, it becomes gratifying to you. What was it for Dr. Miller?
Well, I think when I really had my aha moment and everything was I just thought that this was something that I could do for a very, very long time, was when I started out teaching high school. And, you know, when my first group of kids that I had from ninth grade, and they went on through to high school, to graduation, and to see them walk across the stage was one of those things that, you know, and then them come back and say, thank you so much, Mr. Miller, for not giving up on me. That was one of the moments that I said, you know, this is worth doing.
Okay.
You know, I know one of my students even said, I know you were really tough and I gave you all kind of problems. And he was right, he did. But I never let him know it. But at the same time, I was tough on them, and because I wanted them to be productive citizens. And, you know, right now he's doing quite well, working on an oil rig and just doing very well, has a great family. And then I have another student who, you know, who's a financial counselor. I mean, he's doing well. So I think when they all see you after they've left high school, come back and say thank you, and you know that, and they realize, you know, because most of them now have children, and they realized how tough they were to me, and saying, that I appreciate everything that you did for me. That is really the most gratifying feeling that any teacher can have, is to know that what you did truly made a difference.
A lot of students graduate every year and they go to college. And sometimes they go, they don't know they're going to major in. And sometimes they want to get to education late. If someone asks you about why should they go into teaching, what would you tell them? There's a good area to go into. Would you tell them to go?
Well, first you need to go into it because we need good educators. That's that's the number one reason. And you can do it for a lot of personal reasons, but it's because the kids need them. The kids need teachers that are committed to them and working with them. But if you wanted to say, well, what can a teacher get out of it? Well, teaching is still a great profession. You work 9 months, 10 months, and you make a competitive salary for those 10 months. But more than just that, and the benefit packages and all of that, people need to, what we really need to realize is that it's the profession that makes all others possible. And that's the main thing. If you don't have a teacher, you won't have a lawyer. If you don't have a teacher, you won't have a doctor. If you don't have a teacher, you won't have anything else, because we are what society needs in order to have to make a productive, economy. To make everything work right. But teaching is very. The last thing is, teaching is very, very rewarding. You think of all of those, all of the years that you did it, and all of the students that you had an impact on. And I'm talking thousands of children over a lifetime of teaching, or a career of teaching, that you have had and made a positive impact on, who now those students are having a positive impact on their society, on society. So it's just one of the that's the one thing that you have to know, that being a teacher is the best thing to be, because you make everything else possible.
This district is a combination of two districts. Yet this district is a very young district. We're talking about in the months in terms of age. How is it going to this point for you in the district?
I think it's amazing. I was talking to one of my colleagues not too long ago. I said the best thing to be is to be in an organization at its inception. Because you lay the groundwork. I said Dr. Brown has chosen a fabulous group of educators. A fabulous staff. They are top notch. All of the chiefs and all of the associate superintendents and all of the directors, and they are just a great group of people to work with. But because we are brand new, there are some things that we can, it's the foundation, and we can set the bar high. And what we're doing is we're working really hard to set this bar high for this new district.
I know around when you talk about school, you talk about education, money's always an issue on the state level, local level. But yeah, you have not said one time that because of money we can't. You haven't said that at all. Talk about that for a moment.
I've always been from the perspective, you just work within your means. Whatever is out there, I'm gonna build my budget around what I have. And being a teacher, I never really had a whole lot of resources, but I made the resources happen. I went out there and I would get resources online. I would get resources from other teachers. I could get resources from other resources from other books, or you do what you have to do. You think about a long time ago, back in the 60s and in the 50s, when black people were being educated, we did the best we could with what we had, and a lot of us achieved some great things with just the little that we had. So like they say, you take a lemon and you can make some lemonade with it, and that's what I've been doing for 20 years. It's never truly been about money. it's about what I can do to help somebody. And that's, I guess that's my life's philosophy. You just have to do what you can with what you have and pray for the best.